private sector rally against this regulation madness. Joining us now are Toby Smith of NBT Equities Research and radio talk show host Leslie Marshall. Leslie, let me start with you. Do you think, seriously, that regulations level the playing field or make things even worse?
I actually do think they level the playing field. And if you want to talk about the unions, wait a minute, David, if I own a company, which the government in a sense is a company, and I decide who the money goes to, I have every right to say, hey, I want you to hire union workers. It's my money.
Okay.
I like how they treat their employees, and I like their guidelines. Let me get everybody to make a promise to me tonight. Just no more. We're not talking about unions. This is not a discussion about unions. This is a discussion about whether or not regulations make it easier or more difficult for the small and mid-sized people, the folks like Gus, to survive in the world. And Leslie, frankly, when you think about the billions of dollars that the financial service industry has to throw around Washington, all of the billions of dollars that are used in lobbyists, how could you possibly say that it levels the playing field? It just gives the folks with more lobbyists more clout. I think, David, without regulations, that's the way it is. I mean, let's be realist here to a degree. I mean, the people that have more can hire the lobbyists, can throw more at government officials, politicians.
That's right.
I own 2 small businesses, and I do feel this levels the playing field. And let me tell you why. When you talked about, before we all came on, and you talked about how the government comes in after the fact, I'm totally with you. And that's one of the problems, I think, with our country. And we need to be preventative. And I think regulations help to do that. And I think preventative measures are necessary when you look at Wall Street's responsibility and irresponsibility, as well as America and the government in this entire economic crisis, to prevent this, hopefully, from happening again.
It's never worked in the past.
I mean, Leslie, with all due respect, that nirvana you just described makes a couple assumptions. The one assumption it makes is that the regulator or anybody or, maybe Jesus could figure out what these people are going to be doing. The world changes. Innovation happens. I mean, I, for instance, have been a professional investor for a long time. When I make an investment, I believe that I have more information than the person who's selling me that investment. And if I don't, I wouldn't make it. So if I'm Paulson, for instance, and he had better and more information about the mortgage industry, et cetera, and somebody was on the other side of that trade, all power to him. That's what the investment business is. For your point to say, as much as I love you, Leslie, that we would be able to somehow look into the crystal ball and think about all the situations that we're going to protect. That's the nanny state, Leslie. We're a little wild west here.
Go ahead.
What do you mean that's the nanny state?
That is the nanny state. Protect me from myself.
Wait a minute. The government says, Wall Street comes to the United States government and says, please, please, we're drowning. Give me a life.
They didn't say it. Paulson made them take the money.
They gave them a life raft. And the United States government, because they own Wall Street's butt, doesn't have the right to say, okay, you got the money. Right. Now here are some rules.
Leslie, you're absolutely right. You can't deny the fact that Wall Street came, and they did come begging.
Of course.
I was there. They came begging to be bailed out. And if you're going to be a government-protected entity, you deserve the full sort of weight of the government on your back. But here's the problem, Leslie.
Absolutely.
We cannot have a banking system existing with a partnership with government. And that, because we're going to end up, in the long run, bailing them out again. That's where the sort of nanny state falls apart. These guys have to be put out there on their own, where the next time they do this, they have to know that they will fail. If they have the government as the partner,
and Gus,
they're going to keep taking this risk.
Gus, nobody bails you out, right?
Yeah, no,
Hey, wait, nobody bails me out either if I fail.
Well, okay, but all small and medium businesses don't get bailouts. Go ahead, Gus.
Well, the frustrating part is that we're helping, as us taxpayers are bailing out all of these big companies that are coming and saying we're failing, and here we are, the engine that drives this country, small business. Who's helping us out? Who's bailing us out?
Well, you live by your wits, Gus. You live by your wits.
Because you operate, Gus, in capitalism.
You're a capitalist.
Wall Street operates in crony capitalism.
That's crony capitalism. You privatize the winnings and you socialize the losses. And that's what it's about. Gus, final word. Go ahead, quickly.
Well, you know what?
Who has the
Just allow small business to do their jobs. Give us the ability to compete on a level playing field. Stop over-regulating us. Give us the opportunity to get our people back to work, and we're going to get out of this mess. The way we are, we're not.
I think Leslie would agree with that as well, right, Les?
Well, I didn't agree with the bailout, so I do agree with that absolutely. And by the way, all indicators show, and you know that, we're already getting out of this mess. It's just going to take us some time to feel it individually.
It's so slow based on all the regulations. We should be much ahead than we are right now. But because of taxes and fiddling around with health care, you know, we're stuck with
You know what, guys? You know what? Being a woman, I can tell you this. Being a woman, I can tell you this. It takes 10 months to have a baby and 2 years to lose the weight. Be patient.
Oh, yeah, but you know, that's easy to say.
A lot of people can't be patient.
That's easy to say when you're out of work. How many people do you know out of work? Tell them to be patient.
Okay, guys, we got to leave it at that. And we want to know what you think. The private sector.